Okay. Tina, we are rolling to kick off our coverage of the T3 conference here in Dallas, soon to be sunny Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. This morning, right before I was at the gym, looked outside and it was pouring.
Yeah, it was.
And now we see sun.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
what a better way to start than with Tina Powell, who is a partner and chief of community at Intentionally. Tina, thanks for joining us.
Chuck, I feel so excited, so really excited to be here. This is phenomenal. The energy here at T3, we just saw Joel and kick things off. He was wearing a really cool cowboy hat.
Yes.
Kartik from Advison, who is being the MC.
Yeah.
It was really great. The room is packed. I took amazing pictures and video. We're at a really great location, right? Don't you think?
It is absolutely fantastic. T3 is always one of my favorites. I love technology, so where else do you want to be? And he always packs the room, and these are such engaged people, which I love. It's fantastic.
It is. It's definitely like a community here, and
Yeah.
I'm being the chief of community, so I know a great community when I see one, Chuck.
Yes.
And the most interesting thing is I was meeting with Karina Diamond, who is just named CEO of Greece Financial Partners. They're going through a rebrand right now, and so name will change. Her first time being here, and she said, and I said, you know what, Karina, one of the greatest things, and I heard Joel emphasize this as well, is that you are toe-to-toe, face-to-face with the people that are actually building your technology. So whatever's in your,
Right.
for every single advisor listening right now, whatever is in your tech stack, you should be visiting every single vendor that's here, that's in your tech stack. They will take such great care of you.
Yeah.
Tell them what you love, tell them what you don't love, tell them what you want to see. Yesterday, Microsoft was here. I was part of the, I did the AI.
I had to miss that. I heard it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think that advisors are past the meeting notes stage.
Yeah.
I think we've all kind of like figured out how to use AI for meeting notes and all of that. You've got platforms like Zox out there and Jump. Let's move on to like another. I almost want to say, could we please use a different example here? Ian, UK-based Ian. FinTech also too extraordinaire. He gave them a lot of heat. So that was really interesting. He's like, I want to do something and it should open up Word, and then you should be able to basically go from every 365 product that there is and, kind of go around the value chain rather than being in a solo world. And I definitely agree with Ian McKenna on that. I even tweeted it out. I was like, yep, Ian McKenna is asking the tough questions, but he's right, Chuck. He was so right.
I'm sorry I missed that, but we could talk about that some offline
Yeah.
as well. But here's what I really want to talk to you about here today. So here on goRIA, we focus a lot on advisors looking to, go RIA. And I myself went RIA about 5 years ago. And we've done a lot of content on goRIA about how there's so much support, and I'm looking at all the support right now in this crowd, for advisors looking to go RIA, which I did. And when I went RIA about 5 years ago, it was a lifestyle practice. It was me and John, 120 million under management, living a very comfortable life. Fast forward a couple of tech stacks later, right? The first one was a bust, the second one's fantastic. We have grown quite a bit. So now we're at 17, 18 advisors. We're almost at $1 billion. So now what I need to learn is how to be a big boy RIA, right? So we've gone through the growth and all the growing pains. But what's interesting is the demands and needs I have now as almost $1 billion shop are very different than when I was a $100 million lifestyle practice. And the last thing I'll say, because then I want to hear your thoughts on this, is the following. I think I'm representative of a lot of RIAs in that I've never had a real job. Meaning, I either, when I was younger, reported directly to the owner of a small business, or I was the owner of a small business. So I don't know about running meetings, I don't know about KPIs, I don't know about metrics, all these things I used to make fun of as a young hustling entrepreneur. But now, as we're getting bigger, I was like, you know what? We need some KPIs here. We need some metrics and we need some meetings. All the stuff I would always make fun of. So in comes Intentionally, right? And I think, I know you've launched something recently to help kind of a firm my size get to the next level operationally, and we'll talk about that some other time with Randy. But what I want to talk about is what's right in your wheelhouse, which is the marketing, and something that we are really looking at as well. So one thing I love about doing goRIA is I basically get to do my due diligence on Investment News' dime. So let me do my due diligence. Here's our pain point. So we have 17, 18 advisors. We're growing pretty quickly. What we want to do is always provide services to these advisors like compliance and technology and all this. But now we want to provide a lead generation pipeline. Can you help us with that?
Sure. So a huge shout out to Intentionally founder and CEO Kelly Waltrick, who, when she started Intentionally, we're coming up on our 4th year anniversary, she had a vision of putting together the best marketers in one group and to build the company that she herself wanted to work for. Cool. And she spent the last years of her career, the last 10 years, last decade, at both eMoney and Orion during their pivotal growth years. And what you're hitting upon, Chuck, is a really important point, and that is that what got you there, what got you here, isn't going to get you to there in the future. And what happens in business and entrepreneurship, I'm a business major, and my graduate work was in marketing, but things break. Growth can be both a blessing and a curse. Cool. Along with growth, you have a lot of disruption. Things break. You're adding technology, you're adding teams, you're adding compliance, you're adding investments, you're dealing with the total disruption of our society right now. Really what's happening is with AI. Yeah. You know, we have to definitely talk about that. But what I will say is, for any REA that's listening, the first key to be intentional about your growth is to set those KPIs and those goals. We've all heard the term of SMART goals, but when we sit down, first, Intentionally isn't for everyone. We do our own due diligence around our own clients, and we are right now servicing the marketing portfolios of over 60 companies in financial services, REAs, hybrid REAs, independent broker-dealers, event organizers, custodians, fintechs, at all different business cycles, right? This environment is forever changing. You need to know where you want to go. And so we find that a lot of people are wanting growth, which is a great thing. It's never been a more competitive environment. I would say that in the last few years, we see a lot of VC money, right?
Sure.
All of a sudden, the competitive landscape looks different. Guess what, advisors? You need to solve for that. Some of it can be solved through marketing. I will give my colleagues, Randy Lambert and Jason Mirabella, a little bit of the spotlight right now. We just introduced a technology consulting arm to Intentionally, and that is Deliver Advice. And Deliver Advice is like the financial advisor's operating system. It's very specific to life in the REA industry. So no goal is going to happen automatically. Exactly.
Love it.
You need a growth partner. That's what Intentionally is. At the end of the day, we're here to solve problems. We're not order takers. We are problem solvers. We are collaborators. We are consultants. Nearly 80% of our firm, and now we are a mighty dodgeball team of 26 people, about to be the 26th. Our 10th account manager is coming on board. We have a very formidable and competitive team. But here's the thing, Chuck. We have worked within industry. I'm sitting here with you right now. I don't know, this is my 10th T3, so many people that I recognize.
Sure.
There was a time when I just sat in the office for 8 years straight and just handled marketing and business development and didn't move from my REA office.
I was going to ask, where were you before Intentionally?
Yeah, so I had I was at my own consultancy, C-Suite Social Media, that Intentionally bought.
Okay.
Before that, I was at an REA. Within 9 months, they made me a partner, They put on a pair of golden handcuffs with a 5-year non-qualified deferred comp plan that vests over a period of 5 years. I loved it there. We sold to Mercer Advisors that that was strategic. That was the role of marketing. Marketing was to attract the ideal client profile, and that ideal client profile was not B2C, it was B2B. We needed to find the right partner. Boy, I could talk about succession planning. But so marketing will help to get you there. You asked a really important question. One of the things that I see besides the growth of AI and the total disruption of how we do things in the world, basically, and that is advisor lead gen. More and more financial advisors / business owners / entrepreneurs are wanting to get their hands dirty and are wanting to dig in and lean into that operational and that entrepreneurial mindset. I mean, you yourself said it. You started out with a lifestyle practice and now you're over at $1 billion, near touching $1 billion. Exactly. And if I asked you, how was that growth?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how it was.
Yeah.
Do you know Bodie Miller?
I do. The skier, sure.
That's how it was.
The coolest name.
Right. So if you ever watch him ski, that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah.
Completely out of control, but we got down there really, really fast. In this case, got up there. So we had great growth, but I tell you what, it was chaotic, as a lot of entrepreneurial ventures are. So what we've done over the past year is get things more systematic with our KPIs and our processes and our workflows. Again, all the things I would be making fun of 4 years ago as a lifestyle practice. I got it all in my head. What do I need all these things for? But now when you're larger, you just can't do that. So how do we grow? Just like Bodie Miller. Successful, we got the gold, right? Everyone wants to get to that $1 billion, and then what does every $1 billion firm want to be? A $5 billion firm, right? So that's what we want next. But we got there chaotically. But now we're back to settling. We're upgrading some of our tech. And now the next thing we want to do is actually bring in lead gen as well. So that's exactly where we are. So this is a perfect way to segue into that. So how do I generate leads for these 17 hungry mouths that I have to feed now?
Sure. Well, the quick answer is that it is an omni-channel, multi-channel playbook. In the same way that an advisor will come to you for a diversified portfolio. Yep. A marketing portfolio, and I coined this term years ago, modern marketing portfolio theory, kind of after,
modern portfolio theory.
Exactly.
Sure, I get it.
And that theory is that you need varying degrees of the different asset classes. So advisors, you're all familiar with asset classes, and marketing works the same way. Your website is an asset class. Social media is an asset class. Content creation is an asset class. Planning is an asset class. You can't do anything without a plan. So first is, number one, deciding where you want to be, right? Number two, and just like Bodie Miller didn't do it on his own, right? You need to train. You need to surround yourself with, and I'm so glad you used the example of Bodie, because I've often said that intentionally, we are Olympic athletes. Like, we come from the environments in which we help and represent. When I'm sitting here and I'm consulting with a prospective REA client, it is because I've truly been in their shoes. I remember what it's like to be in the office, and I really miss it also too. Like, I love agency work, but I so believe in, I think advisory is a noble profession. I think what you're doing with goRIA, the independent model, is truly the place to serve the needs of the clients.
Amen, yes.
And that you have that agility, and that you can be dynamic with that, because those needs change over time. So in addition to having not only the goal of where you want to be, then you need to surround yourself with the right team, with the right growth partner. There are two ways that advisors right now are growing, and that is organic and inorganic.
Right.
Okay. The difference for everybody out there is that inorganic is more about advertising and spending money towards growth. And we have an amazing demand gen, lead gen head of that service over at Intentionally. His name is Dan Natal.
Okay.
It's the only thing he does, Chuck.
Yeah.
Every single day. Jamie is also too. We're expanding his team. Jamie Brunel is there. This is all they do. So if you're going to go headfirst into organic and inorganic growth, you need to work with the people who already know how to do it. It was like Bodie Miller picking his trainers. It is intentional of people who have walked the walk and talked the walk. So a lot of times we start with that goal. The second thing that we do from a procedural point of view is define what that ideal client profile is.
So important.
Yep, so important. Who you want to serve.
To all people, yes.
Exactly,
absolutely.
who you want to serve. Right now, we just started working with a firm whose ideal client profile are tech workers.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because tech workers, there are certain things that from a financial planning perspective that touch that avatar, right? That buyer persona. What we see before clients come and walk into an agency environment is there's a tendency to want to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
And who said it? I was listening to your podcast with Marty Bicknell from Mariner, and the number one, besides the one word fiduciary, the second word is holistic.
Yeah.
No. If you are going to attack the market aggressively with a growth engine, you are being unapologetically you to who you serve. And that's what I think the end client really wants. The end client wants to be heard. They want to understand. They want to know that you've had a track record of success dealing with people who look like them, sound like them, have the same types of needs and wants. So it's really, really imperative. From an organic growth perspective, that could be things that occur a little bit more naturally to a practice. Organic growth might be that all of a sudden that you have a new advisor on board, join your practice, who now, I was talking with an advisor this morning, and that advisor who joined this gentleman's practice used to be a pay-per-hour financial planner. When she came into the business, Chuck, she totally redefined it. Average retention increased, average lifetime value of customer increased, percent of wallet share increased, because again, there's so many things that touch growth, which is why from a marketing perspective, you'll get to go far. But from a technology and operations perspective, there still needs to be so much done.
Yes.
Right? And it's about really taking a look at the business and doing an environmental scan and a little bit of a deep dive to determine what's next, because there's a million different combinations.
Yep.
Right? What's right for you, Chuck, is going to be different for another person.
Without question. So as we're coming up on time here, there's one last question I do want to ask you, because I've been hearing a lot of this and I really am beginning to buy into it. So you ask, 10 advisors my age, right, in mid-50s, where's your number one source of clients? And they're going to say probably referrals, right? But I'm hearing now that the percentage of new clients coming into firms from referrals is decreasing, and the number of new clients coming into firms from online sources, whether it's content or advertising, is going up. Is that true?
Look, and I forgot the statistic, but the Schwab 2024 benchmarking study, you can all Google that and just get it. Digital marketing, the best firms are utilizing digital marketing, right? Because digital marketing, at the end of the day, or really at its core, guys, is that it is intent-based, right? We go, last night, I got here a little bit late. I had the decision whether or not that I could eat here. I decided that I was intent-based. Uber Eats, a steak quesadilla to my room in 15 minutes.
Love it.
intent-based. I had a problem. I was hungry. There were different ways that I needed to solve it. Financial planning is no different than the Uber Eats and the instant kind of gratification. We go to the digital universe to be educated, to be informed, and it's so important. It's what I love about your podcast too. You need to be in the ecosystems where people are searching for information. We've seen a lot of growth with platforms like Reddit.
Yeah, sure.
Right, exactly. Social media. You're doing a phenomenal job on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
Every single advisor who's listening right now should be totally bullish on their LinkedIn presence. LinkedIn now offers an advisor 5 different newsletters.
Yeah.
So imagine if you had 5 different client avatars. But the problem that we see is just, again, it's a continual reliance on or belief that what got me here is going to get me to that next chapter, and that's not necessarily true.
I absolutely agree.
You need to work with the type of people who have done it for other clients like you, and yeah, I'll shout out our firm because I truly believe in the value proposition of what we do. We change the trajectory of a business.
Yeah. I think that's a great place to put a pin in it for today. Tina Powell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome to see you here, Chuck, and congratulations. Thank you for all the work that you're doing for advisors, goRIA, and I've been a huge fan and really incredible story. So thank you for being a guiding light.
Thank you, and likewise.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
So that's just starting us off here for our 2 days of live coverage of the T3 conference here in Dallas. We'll be back in another hour with some more content. We will see you then. And Tina, thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Chuck.
You bet.
Bye, everybody.